Can't get this mug right there now.
Terrence Gangster William, aka OG Diggity. I'm hanging out with the big homie, Hankin TV. Make sure y'all subscribe, support the brother. We out here doing big things. It's all good, baby. Y'all see me free. We out here enjoying life. Wah! I want y'all to stop the violence, say no to drugs, and put these guns down. I'm out, baby. Gotta go.
This is a certified hood classic.
I used to be in my feelings, then I turned up and got a spot. I can't say how much I made in that bitch, I just know it was a lot. I don't care no more if she love me for real, long as she love my knot. They say, you hitting them with too much drip, I know I gotta mop. I put my flow in the microwave, I know I gotta blow, now it's hot. I was way too far ahead of my time, I had to slow down and stop. Before I pull up to the honeycomb, I got to go round the block. Looking in blind spots for any nigga think he on the low trying to plot. Go ahead.
Y'all make sure y'all go subscribe to Hankin TV, man. You feel what I'm saying? That's my boy. He put dope content over there.
What's up with it? It's your boy JT. If I say I done it, I did it. I want to thank y'all for coming through. I hope I got some people in here for my last interview I just did with Calico Chill. I got the WBC US NBC heavyweight champion of the world in the house tonight, Robert Sizzle Sims. If you can you go ahead and introduce yourself?
How y'all doing out there? This Rob Sizzle Sims in the building. Like you said, WBC US NBC heavyweight champ. You know what time it is.
And that's easy. That's easy for me to remember. You WBC US NBC, but that's a tongue twister for me. So
man, it is.
So where you from, man?
Saginaw, Michigan. Born and raised. Been here my whole life.
So how was it growing up in Saginaw?
Saginaw, a rough place. I don't know if y'all be looking like at the the areas or the cities with the highest murder rates and all that, but we like number 4 right now in the country. So like it was a very dangerous place, growing up. I mean, just like every city, you have your hoods, and even within that hood, you have people that's cool people, doing normal stuff, but it's still one of them places.
Right. So when you was growing up, was you in any sports?
Yeah, but actually basketball was my favorite sport, but football was what was going to take me to the next level. I love playing football. I love playing basketball more, but I was better in football.
Right.
A lot better in football.
So what's some of the things you was getting into in Saginaw, man, growing up?
Besides, hanging out, we was on the street. The street I grew up on, actually, it was about 12 boys all around within like 2 years of each other. So, we grew up on the street called Hazelwood. We wasn't no gang or nothing like that, but it was, we went around playing sports, playing basketball. Back in the day, we'd meet up at fields to play football against other neighborhoods. So it was a real big sports town. We had a lot of people come out of here for basketball and football. And, that's what we did most of the time, and, our parents allowed us to hang out with each other late and, we had a good time.
Right. So being in boxing, man, I think, man, is a mental sport. It's a brutal sport. So would you want to be a boxer growing up?
No. I ain't gonna even lie. I barely even watch boxing. My dad was big in boxing because he used to box over in when he was in the Marines. They was over there and they would box. I think it was over in the Philippines. They would have little boxing shows and stuff over there. So he was heavy into boxing, but I ain't care nothing for it. I knew who Mike Tyson was. Every so often Roy Jones would fight, and we all would tune in to watch Roy Jones fight. But outside of that, nope. My cousin from here was the boxer. His name Lorenzo Reynolds. He was a boxer.
Right. So did you grow up fighting though? Like school fights, neighborhood fights?
Oh yeah, we had our little scuffles with other neighborhoods and stuff like that. Back then, you would fight. You would go to different places, y'all would fight and stuff. It never really got too serious. Y'all wound up being cool afterwards, or never kept going like kind of how it is now. A lot of people want to shoot now, but back then, we was getting in a lot of scuffles, especially while we playing football, playing basketball. You go to these other neighborhoods, and you got the You got the people who actually in the streets, the dope boys and all that. They out there watching us while we doing our thing. You know, people placing bets, doing different things like that. But it was mostly just, you know, just some scuffles like that. Nothing too serious.
Right. And I asked you that because, man, when I was reading about you, I was reading where it said you know, you kind of got like a later start in boxing. So
yeah,
I was wondering, you know what I'm saying, wondering like, how did you transition over into boxing? How did you get into it?
Well, my auntie, you know, me and my cousin that boxer, he actually is one of my trainers now. Me and him didn't grow up together, but I always would, you know, whenever he did fight, we knew about it. So he fought on ESPN a couple times and stuff like that. So everybody around here knew who he was. He was a 2-time national Golden Glove champion. So I think he was a runner-up for the Olympic trials or the alternate. So I knew who he was, but I just wanted to lose some weight. I'm not gonna lie. I was just telling my auntie I think boxing would be a good way for me to lose some weight. And at the time he was in Houston, so he put me in with his dad, who was my actual head trainer now. And I just started training. That's how I started.
So when did you take it serious though? Like this is what I'm gonna do.
My first year, actually my first fight was the Michigan Golden Gloves. We started in the Golden Gloves. That was my first time fighting. And my first fight was against a guy who was 5-0 and had 5 knockouts as an amateur. And I went in and beat him. And after I beat him, I won the whole tournament. And I was like, you know, maybe I just got lucky. Maybe a lot of people went in this year. And I went back and won it the next year. And I was like, yeah. And, you know, I could see how kids was reacting to me, how people was reacting to me. And I was like, this is what I want to do. You know, I love hearing that roar from the crowd that you used to get from playing the football and basketball and stuff. I found that again boxing, and that became another love of mine.
Man, that's great, man, because some people, they grow up eating, sleeping, and living boxing, man, and still don't make the type of accomplishments you had, not throwing no shade at them or nothing. But one thing I want to know for myself, I'm quite sure for some people out there will know too. So what's the difference in between like I guess I want to say the divisions, like US NBC? You know what I'm saying? What's the difference in the divisions, like the US NBC heavyweight and the heavyweight that
because
Tyson Fury in?
Yeah, well, Tyson Fury got the head WBC belt, which is the main belt, and I put it kind of in terms, I guess, if we was be talking about maybe basketball. Okay, so you got the MVP of the league, and then you got the All-Stars. So my belt will be kind of like me getting an All-Star nod, you know, and, you know, on my way to trying to get to the MVP. So what it does is put me in a ranking in the big belt, so I can, you know, get an opportunity to be ranked within the top 15 in the world of these fighters.
Okay,
but in boxing, they give you belts. Yeah,
they got a lot of belts. Somebody want to know, what year was your first fight?
It was 2008. Yep, my first year was in 2008. I started in the Golden Gloves, and I did take a break in between because I won. No, actually, it was 2009. 2009 and 2010, I won the Golden Gloves, and they kind of treated my amateur career like a professional career since I started so late. I didn't fight in every tournament. I only fought in the big tournaments. I didn't fight locally a lot. I only fought in the big stuff, so I wasn't putting a lot of miles on my body, you know, at that age. So that's when I started fighting, like right around that time. And I took a break because my niece that grew up with, you know, my niece that we was kind of helped raising, even though my mother had took her in, but she was with me and my daughter like every day at events and stuff like that, if that make any sense. She wound up passing. So like right after that, I took a little break from boxing, and I came back in 2015 and won a Golden Gloves again and turned pro after that.
So how many fights did you have before you turned pro?
46. I was 41-5 as an amateur.
Right. And what's your record now?
13-3. 13-3. It should be 16-0. And I know a lot of people will say that, like, oh, well, you know, but if anybody can go and look my name up and look at the 3 fights that they had me losing and watch that whole fight and turn the sound off, you'll understand that what I'm talking about. I fought a guy that was 12-0 when I was 3-0. Went to Detroit. We fought in a big show. took him to school. The fight to me wasn't even close. They took it from me split decision. I don't have any unanimous decision losses or any knockouts. Everything has been split decision. And the other two were on bigger cards. Now, two of those fights, I don't want to really get into all of the particulars, but two of those judges was ex-Detroit Golden Glove coaches. Right. They shouldn't even been judging that fight.
Right.
And in both fights, those were the two judges that nodded on the other side, as opposed to the fair judge. One came from New York and another one came from Ohio that had me winning the fight. So I'm like, I didn't know that going in, but when you be around the game for a while, you get to know the outside people in the game too. And it's like, these guys shouldn't even been judging these fights. They in the gym with these guys every day.
Right. Not throwing no shade, if you can't answer it, would you say it's rigged, or do you think judges got their favorites?
I think in the situation I was in, the judges had their favorites. If you go to some of these bigger cards, I wouldn't say so much rigged, but I would say that some of these guys will give the nod to. It's kind of like you got to put the human element in it. What I mean by that is that if I know that this prospect is supposed to be the next upcoming, right, I'm gonna spend most of my time watching him while I'm judging this fight. Even though I should be watching both fighters, I'm gonna see everything he's doing good. And let's say I'm hitting the guy with some good shots, but I'm not paying attention to that as a judge. I'm paying attention to what this next guy's supposed to be, because he gonna keep money in my pocket too as a judge.
Right. With the accomplishments you've made, and as far as you've made it in boxing, if you could go back, would you have started boxing sooner and got into it?
Yes. Yeah, I definitely would have. Because with the ability, with the hard work that I was putting in as a kid into the sports that I was playing, if I could have put that into boxing, I probably wouldn't even be a heavyweight right now, first of all. But but second of all, I would have seen the guys who would have been coming up in that era. And a lot of those guys I've seen in the amateurs early on, I would have beat them. And I could probably be retired right now.
Right.
Sitting back right now with my feet up.
Right. I already know because I read it, man. But tell the people who you beat for the championship.
Mackenzie Morrison, which is the son of the late great Tommy Morrison. If people don't know him from boxing, he also played in the Rocky V movie as Tommy Gunn. So I wound up beating his son. He was 20-0 with 18 knockouts. Real hard puncher, but I took him to school. I knew he couldn't. Anytime a person hits hard, and any heavyweight want to hit hard, they only are there for the knockout. They're not trying to box.
Right. They're
not trying to think. And that's where I take a lot of guys apart at, because I make them think while they fighting, and heavyweights hate to do that.
Right. So while they going for the knockout, you boxing.
Yeah, I'm boxing. And on this level, I'm not the hardest puncher, but on this level, you fighting a heavyweight, any one punch will take you out. And they start finding out a lot of times, I think it's the element of surprise. They find out that I do hit hard, and they wind up like, I don't want to keep going in there. So then it allows me to turn my offense on.
Right. So. Do you know of any other boxers that got into boxing as late as you did?
The only other person it's two people that I can look at that got into boxing later than me, even though they did start a lot earlier in life. But Antonio Tarver, he turned professional at 30 years old. He wanted to be a world champion. Bernard Hopkins was locked up for a while, if anybody can remember that. He came out, I think, about 31, 32 when he, took care of his body real good and got to box up until he was 50 years old. So, with the right, especially with the stuff they give, with the stuff that's out there for us now or whatever, to keep our bodies healthy now and to be able, all the knowledge we got with just the herbal stuff, you should be if you're an athlete, you can go a little longer. Look at Tom Brady, so now it's a lot of stuff that help us prolong our career if we want to.
Right. And the reason I ask you that, man, is because when I look you up, it's like all the articles, that's what they talk about, you starting late.
Yeah.
And that is amazing, you know what I'm saying, by you not eating, sleeping, and breathing, boxing growing up, for you to make the accomplishments that you made. You seeing people in the industry like giving you props for that?
Oh yeah, a lot. And the crazy part is it shock a lot of people, because a lot of people, before they know who I am or before they get to see me fight, they're like, oh, well, even a lot of announcers, a lot of the fights, like, he probably get knocked out in 3, or he probably get this and that. And I'd be sitting there like just laughing to myself, like they just really don't know. So, but after the fight, like in 2 of my fights, I went to places and I was the enemy, and people didn't like, I was hearing a lot of crazy talk. And then by the end of the fight, them fans was my fans. So I developed a pretty good fan base off of the shock factor of like, man, this dude can actually fight.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you, did they underestimate you too? That's one of the things I was going to ask you. I just seen a recent interview that Gervonta Davis did, and he said like it ain't no business and it ain't no money in boxing. I don't know if it's the business or not, but what's your thoughts about that?
I think it's money in boxing, but it's at the top. Like, and the heavyweight division, the welterweight division right now and I think the lightweight division are the hot divisions. So it's money there. You know what I'm saying? So it is money in those divisions. Now, a lot of other divisions, I went down to cruiserweight for a while and I found out like it's a big pay cut going down and fighting that cruiserweight because ain't nobody watching them. And light heavyweight almost the same way. Nobody's watching them. So as much as I hated staying at heavyweight, it was like I needed to stay there because of the money that they offering for you to go fight these top guys. But it's there. It's just the fact of being smart on your business end. A lot of them don't find out about the business end until they older, and then they make the right decisions. But if you got a manager, you pay him 30%. You got a promoter that's getting his 10%. You got a trainer that's getting his 10%. And you got a cut man that's coming in, probably getting, 3 to 5%. Before you see your money, half of it's gone.
Right.
So I don't have a manager. I was like, you don't, and the reason why is because your manager is supposed to take care of the stuff that's going to make you money on the outside. So what real deals outside of, you didn't even see Floyd Mayweather in the commercial. So outside of the, the stuff that we normally can into, because a lot of boxers can't articulate themselves or whatever. A lot of them didn't finish school. A lot of them just knew boxing. They grew up in it. So when you can't articulate yourself, they're not going to put you in front of no camera. So yeah, what am I hiring a manager for? He can't get me no deals. He can't get me signed with nobody. I can walk into that room and do that myself. So and then I use a promoter, but I didn't take no money up front. So that way now, if he gets any money on the back end, we all making money or anything like that. But he's going, I'm used to fight on shows and stuff like that. So only person really make any money off me is my trainer. So I took that route because it's like, it makes no sense to hire a bunch of people around you getting paid and then I still got to pay 100%. I still got to pay taxes on that 100% of that money.
Right. Wow.
So that's why a lot of those boxers aren't getting paid the way they're supposed to. You hear they're getting $2-3 million checks. By the time they pay everybody, they leaving there with maybe 500,000. And if you maintaining a lifestyle for Instagram and all that, you know what I'm saying? It's hard to keep up with that. It's hard to keep up.
Right. I seen you had made a post on social media saying it was some slots open for sponsors.
Yeah. I got slots open for sponsors.
How do that work?
What they do, most of the time what we'll do, especially once you start fighting on major networks, which I'll be starting to do here soon, you allow them to put a patch or something on the jacket or on your trunks. Your trunks gonna get the most money because that's gonna be seen throughout the fight. You know what I'm saying? So you have like maybe a gold, a silver, and a bronze package that you can offer. You know what I'm saying? For the gold package, I put you on the trunks, social media, displays. I wear gear to interviews and stuff like that. And then you got your silver package where I might put you on a jacket. So people will see me during my ring walk with your patch on or whatever. But, that might be it. And you get the same other, the social media and all that in the bronze package. I might wear it during the interview. I might do social media, little stuff like that. Post on my social media about, the company, stuff like that. It's just different packages that you do. And all the boxers just about got the same ones. The bigger you are, the more people you able to, get use out of. But right now, like my best friend, he got a clothing company. So I always make sure I wear his shirt under my stuff every fight. just to get him that, because that's my brother. We've been locked in for everybody. Everybody else, they gotta bring something to it. And I've had some pretty good sponsors, you know what I'm saying? And locally, I don't be taxing people like that to sponsor me. But if a big company come along, like I be seeing some of these people with them watch companies and all that, yeah, you're gonna pay.
Right,
You're gonna pay to get in there.
That's dope. That's the reason why I asked you, because I've had several clothing line designers on the show as well. And if they would like, if they was trying to get do that, how can they go about that?
They can reach me either at Robert Sims on Facebook, and jump up, hit me in my inbox, or they can hit me at Sizzle 331, no E, just SIZZL 331 at Instagram, and jump in my inbox there, and we can always work something out. Like I said, I'm not one of these hired boxers that's gonna try to, break your company down. If it's an upstart, we're gonna work together, to get you seen or whatever, and I'm not gonna try to break the bank or nothing on you.
Right. So what you got coming up next in box? You got any fights coming up?
Well, the crazy part is, if I had an injury, which I can't go too far in because I'm in litigation about that, but I had an injury that caused me to have to get a knee surgery or whatever, and that happened right before that fight. So I fought with a torn meniscus my last fight. So I got surgery right after that. I actually would have been fighting Effie Ajabo like 2 weeks ago on ESPN or whatever. So right now, it's another guy named Oscar Rivas. I got the WBC crown at Bridgeweight, which is kind of a new division they opened up because the heavyweight's getting so big now. So they opened that up, but he just had an eye injury, so I won't be able to call him out. So right now we looking. We something gonna open up. It always does, and I'm gonna get one of these big fish and reel them in.
Right. So how do that go? How do that go in boxing? Like getting your opponent.
Well, see, I got a promoter. I got a really good promoter. I'm with Salida Promotions. So he promotes Clarissa Shields, my brother Jermaine Franklin, who just went over and fought Dylan White. Who else we got? We got Jarrell Miller. We got some pretty good and some pretty good up and coming fighters that just came out of the Olympics and stuff. So what happens is, like, let's say they're doing a show together or whatever. Like, let's say they're doing a show together with like PBC or something like that. They get together, and let's say Wilder's fighting on that card. They call my promoter and like, hey, could we either get one of these two, and this is what we're willing to pay him. And then my promoter sends that contract to me or whatever. I go over it. If I like it, I take it. If not, I can send, hey, I need more of this or more of that or whatever. So it's just a meeting of the minds between the two promoters, and then the fighters get to make the decision of what they want to do.
Right. That's what. So you think it's any? Have you ever ran into experience where you had some boxers ducking you?
Yeah, I could say I don't necessarily think it's ducking on AEM, because if you've been boxing in this game and you're an amateur, most of these guys that you see fighting as pros against each other fought multiple times as amateurs, and they couldn't back out that fight. So what winds up happening is the promoter comes in, and he's like, that's kind of a dangerous fight for you, and it might not make you a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times the promoters jump in and kind of stop the boxers on the business end of taking a fight that they may want to take. Like I could see like Wilder and Joshua actually want to fight each other, or like some of these other big names want to fight each other, but they can't actually get in the ring with each other because the promoters is the ones deciding on whether this fight gonna happen or not. You can ask as much as you want, but if it ain't coming out your own pocket like Mayweather was doing, then you can't just fight whoever you want.
Right. So let me ask you this question, man. Who you going with the Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia fight?
If Ryan Garcia make it a boring fight and stay on the outside, I give him a chance because he can box. But what scares me is if he try to engage with Davis, he'll get knocked out, because I don't know if you ever seen Ryan fight, but he keeps his chin all the way up in the air every time he throws a punch. And if you got your chin in the air against Davis, it's over. He only need one time to catch you, and it's over. So Ryan Garcia really would have to get with somebody who teaches him how to box and not be throwing in wild combinations like he's throwing.
Right. So, man, what advice would you give somebody getting into boxing?
you can't play this. You can't come in halfway. If you want to box, if you really want to box, this is a serious sport. You could really get hurt or whatever. So you can't halfway do this. You gotta train when you don't want to. You gotta miss them parties. You gotta stop the side stuff that you be wanting to do. I mean, if you in between fights, you might be in a indulge a little bit, but for the most part, you got to be locked all the way into this. And like I said, even when you're not fighting, it's every day in that gym training, doing something, even if it's just getting up to go run or something. You got to be locked all the way in. You can't just think like I'm gonna get in here and make me a quick buck and get out, because you can leave without your senses.
Right.
In this one, so it's one of them sports you got to take serious, or it could be all bad for you.
Right. And then boxing is different. Boxing in the ring, professionally, and just boxing period is way different than street fighting. Do you think boxing on the level you boxing, you think it's more mental or more physical?
More mental. More mental. It's a lot more thinking. When you get to a higher level, that's why a lot of times you see better fights, not the big fights you want to see. It be them fights like right under that, you see the better fights, because those guys are just engaged, and they don't really, they throwing caution to the wind because it ain't no tomorrow for them. As opposed to you get a guy like Mayweather and Pacquiao, when they're on a higher level, they thinking. Everybody thought Pacquiao would just go in there and throw a billion punches, and he wanted to, but he knew if he made the wrong mistake, he was gonna get tagged or caught with something. So when you get on a higher level, it's a lot more thinking involved. And like I said, in my division, they hate to think. They just want to get you out of there. So when I play that chess game in there, it throws them off, because now they don't know what to do. But yeah, it's definitely a lot more thinking at the higher level.
So how long is a typical training camp?
6 to 8 weeks, depending on if they give that to you. Because a lot of times when you got like a guy on his way up, those promoters will make a call to some guy that's probably not in the gym, probably not doing nothing. He might have a week and a half to 2 weeks to train for that fight if he ain't been in the gym doing nothing. So, but a major fight, you're gonna get a 6 to 8 week camp, and most of that's gonna be sparring, eating right, and mostly just training. I've been to camps. They're not fun, y'all. You and your trainer always butt heads during training, no matter how much you think y'all not, no matter how good of a relationship y'all have, y'all gonna butt heads, because it is you probably up somewhere where it's boring, or you might be in Miami and you can't leave your campsite. So you in this nice city, you stuck at the camp, just working out and just focused on your craft or whatever. And after a while, you'd be like, man, I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to take somebody's head off. That's why a lot of times when y'all see those interviews, like close to the fight, you see a guy that's like on edge, that's like, because you just ready to fight. You ain't eating right. You ain't eating the way you want to. You dropping weight. You tired.
Right. They be ready to get it over with.
They be ready to get it over with. They be ready for all this stuff to be over with, especially before weigh-in. Oh man, if you be talking to them fighters before the weigh-in, they can't wait for that weigh-in to be over so they can go put some fluids in their system and eat some food and stuff like that. They can't wait.
Right. Somebody want to know what type of herbs you use to stay healthy.
Like herbs?
I'm assuming they want to know what type of herbs you use to stay healthy. If you use it.
When I get ready to fight or whatever, when I'm getting ready to go to camp, I take the supplement called D herbs. And on D herbs, you eating clean. It's some pills that they give you. They all before I take anything, because I don't want to be doing nothing illegal. But D herbs is a natural supplement. I don't know if y'all listen to the Steve Harvey show, but they talk about it a lot. It's actually one of the things that I think Dr. Sebi was talking about, where you eating clean the whole time or whatever, mostly fruits, mostly vegetables. If you do have an urge for something, you can have some fish, but it got to be baked or whatever. So for the most part, when I'm in camp, like I said, it's so bland. You eating foods like that and stuff like that, but the drastic amount of weight you could just naturally lose off of it, because your body isn't used to eating clean. So when it finally gets something clean or whatever, your body takes hold to that. Right. So if anybody want to know, that's what I take, D herbs.
What's up, Lady S? So what do you be doing on your off time when you ain't training? What you do? Do you still work out?
Mostly chilling, just chilling, enjoying time with the family. You know what I'm saying? I do a lot of, I got a close-knit group of friends. So whenever I'm not doing nothing, we're all doing something, playing cards, stuff like that. Plus I got a couple businesses on the side I'm running. So that take up a little bit of the time too. But for the most part, for fun, it's always going to be some pool. We'll go to this place here called Stardust where they got it's a bowling alley, but it's like a Dave and Buster's almost. So we go there or whatever. I ain't really the club type person. I mean, I do have some events and stuff coming up, but I'm not really at the club every night type person. So for me, I'd rather just go hang out at spots like that with my group of friends.
Are you in the perfect place for the event you got coming up, the Players Ball?
Yeah. Yeah, we got a Players Ball coming up this Saturday. And in our city or whatever, a lot of the clubs and a lot of the events and stuff like that, it's kind of like mostly hood parties mostly. You got people in there with hoodies. You got people in there with, jogging suits on. It's kind of just wear whatever. And I want to bring something to the city that was going to be different, like a fun event for adults. You know what I'm saying? So it's a Players Ball. We actually going to be giving out a Player of the Year award. So that's something that we got going on. It's kind of like what you would say, a cabaret. Right. Like a cabaret type of event. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to be in there clean. I tell my people to bring the furs out, bring the gators out, come in and have a good time, dance and have fun, instead of, standing around looking at each other, mean mugging each other all night. Right. Whatever. Let's come in and have a good time, So.
So by you getting in the boxing, they're first to lose weight, stay healthy. Mm-hmm. Did you think you'll be heavyweight champion of the world?
I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wind up going back down, not because I can't be heavyweight champion of the world, but because that window of getting in there right now with all the names is at the top. Them guys gonna fight each other first. Right. So by the time I actually get up there, I don't want to be too old to, by the time I get up there and get my chance now, it got wasted. Right. So when you come back down, and like I said, I'm gonna try to get that belt at bridge weight or whatever. And if I can come up off of that belt and come back up to heavyweight and see if I can steal one of the 4 belts that way. Right. So I got a game plan.
So what's the average weight of a heavyweight boxer?
Well, back in the day, they used to be like 205, 210. Now you got guys coming in there 260, 270, and they ain't 260 and 270 like big, like they 260 and 270 rip. Like right. You're getting some guys now 6'7", 6'8", 6'9", getting into boxing because, I mean, truth be told, basketball done took the power forward out of the game. So these guys walking around at 6'7", 6'8", 6'9" need something to do because they still athletic, and boxing or either jumping in the NFL and turning into a tight end has been what they've been doing. So that's why you've been seeing so many 6'7", 6'8", 6'9" guys that's walking around 250, 260 boxing now. They don't all be good, but it's still take a toll on you fighting a guy that big.
It definitely will. So we talked about some things earlier about some business you had. So tell us about this vodka you got.
Yeah, I got a company. Me and my wife started called Twisted Drinks or whatever. So we I went through. It's a lot of paperwork. So if anybody want to get into the liquor, or the vodka game, it's a lot of paperwork. I ain't gonna give away all the secrets right now, but it's a lot of paperwork, a lot of licenses you got to go through or whatever. But yeah, we got 3 different flavors. Actually, we just added a 4th flavor called Penny Dropper. But we got Hazelwood Days, The Woods, and Toxic Hearts. And Hazelwood is a street I grew up on, so that obviously was my first baby right there. And then the surrounding streets around us, which is it's like an 8 or 9 block straight, radius of streets that end in wood. So that's why I named it The Woods, and then I put every other street on the bottle too. Right. For one, and then Toxic Hearts, that's my wife's venture. That was something that she came up with, and the ladies love that one. And like I said, we just dropped Panty Dropper, so that's our 4, and that's what we sticking with or whatever. We got we running a really good business right now here out of Michigan. We're gonna try to expand, take it, nationwide or whatever. But I want to start getting it running more after I'm done boxing, if that makes sense. Right. That way I can put 100% into it. Right now I can't give it 100%. Right. So,
and you have a shoe as well.
Yeah, I got a shoe, Roberto Cosa. And the reason I named it that is because my daughter, she's real fluent in Spanish. She knows Spanish real good. So I wanted to name it something that didn't equate itself with me, but with me. So people on the outside looking in won't be like, oh, that's Robert Sam's shoe. So we not gonna get it. But Roberto Cosa, which stands for Robert's thing or whatever. You know, shoes is my thing. I love shoes, so that's why I named it Roberto Costa. So that way you can love the shoe without knowing me, because like I said, like people tend to purchase things when they don't know the owner.
Right, they do.
When they don't know who the owner is, it takes that hate factor out of it, and it allows people just to like the product.
So is it a gym shoe or a dress shoe?
I got different stuff. I actually got this shoe right here. I don't know if a lot of people like the company that I use to make the shoes or whatever is out of Italy. They the same people that make the Balenciagas, that make the Gucci's, and all that stuff. They come out of the fashion circle out in Italy. So those are people making my shoe. So it's more like, I don't know if you've seen like the lower cut Balenciagas or the lower cut Gucci shoes. That's the style of shoe that I went with first or whatever. So it's kind of that style shoe, but I mean, I'm dabbling in all of it. I got a boxing shoe I'm gonna come out with soon. If I post that to your page if you want to post it. I got a boxing shoe coming out soon. I got women's heels. We about to start doing women's purses and men's shirts and stuff. So that's our next couple ventures with Roberto Costa. It's a shoe company now, but we're gonna expand to other things, other markets. Because like I said, it's cool because I just design and stuff, and I actually got an actual company that's putting it out for me. So to see your product come to life, you know, off the paper is just a beautiful thing.
Right. Yeah, man, anything you got going on, man, tag it to my page, man, because one of the things I do with people after I have them on the show, I stay in contact with them. They got anything going on, I continue to promote it. And I'm definitely going to be in contact with you for anything you got for the ladies. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely going to send you. I even put out some, what's the shoes everybody wearing now? Is they the Uggs? The Ugg type shoe? The little boot that everybody wearing? Yeah, I got a version of those. And like I said, it's nothing like them, but they tailored off of that style because, you got to go with what people wearing. So,
right. So how's the shoe business doing for you?
I do good. And the crazy part about it, I do better in the UK and over in Italy. I do better over there. Like, I mean, I get a lot of my stuff shipped over here for me to sell in person or whatever, for me to ship myself and for me to sell in person. So that way people can see the shoe on me or whatever. So that way you can be like, oh man, what is those? Or like, besides going to my website, you can actually look and see the shoe in person. So I do a lot of that. So or whatever. But in Italy, they're doing real good. And in the UK, that surprised me. That they really doing good over there. Because like I said, the people don't know who making the shoe.
Right.
So it makes it a little bit harder because I got to post it on my page to promote it. So you still know it's me if you're from over here. So yeah.
That's one thing I want to tell my people, y'all. That's my fault as far as me not doing my complete due diligence. I'm gonna have you send me the after we get done, go ahead and send me the all the websites. I'm gonna post them in the description of the YouTube video. And like I said, I'm gonna share them on my page.
I got you. I definitely got you.
All right, man. So what else you got going on outside of boxing?
Right now, I know it. I got a daughter that's in the band at Michigan. Mm-hmm. So I want to start going to some more of those games up there. I was at a lot of the football games this year or whatever. We actually, we actually got to beat Ohio State, a couple times in a row. So that was pretty cool. Ever since she got to Michigan, we've been undefeated against Ohio State. So I tell her she our little lucky charm for right now. But yeah, I want to get to some old Michigan events, outside of the shoes and I'm throwing a party, but I don't want to get into the promoting side of it. I actually want to get into actually getting the coaching and stuff afterwards. I think with my knowledge and my skills, I think the next foot forward for me will be actually training boxers myself out of the city. And we do got some talent here, so
that's a boxing state right there.
Yeah,
good people that came up out of Michigan. But you from Michigan, so it's only natural for you to be a Michigan fan. Man, I'm from Ohio, man, so I'm a Buckeye. But I don't. Yeah, the heavyweight champion of the world, so I want no trouble. So
I know y'all been dominating us. We finally got some get back. Y'all been laying it on us for like 12, 13 years straight. Right. So we finally got to get some wins finally.
That's dope, man. I want to also let my people know. See, I done turned y'all on to some new stuff, and I turned y'all on to a vodka, and I turned y'all on to some shoes. Got some purses and stuff coming out next, so I'm turning y'all on.
And we do. And we do ship the vodka. I got the license so I can ship anywhere.
Oh, so you got a website for the vodka as well?
Yep, they can. It's Twisted Drinks 2020 on Instagram, and then we also got Twisted Drinks by a hashtag Twisted Drinks on Facebook.
Word. That's what's up.
So we got 2 sites for that. Yep, I've been working. The best part about it for Instagram and Facebook is free promotion.
Right.
So
definitely is.
Yeah.
So how you feel about your boxing career, man? Are you, like I said, that's the thing about the articles, man. That's the main thing they kept focusing on, you getting in so late. Do you feel like accomplished, like you did? You know what I'm saying? You did your thing by not, because like I say, like we both said before this, man. People grow up from babies boxing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Accomplishment.
Yeah. For me, I think if I get to that final goal of getting the belt, getting that top belt, I believe there's no way in the world I don't deserve some type of movie behind this. Because I wasn't like Antonio Tarver and Bernard Hopkins. Them was decorated amateurs before they did what they did. I came out of nowhere. I remember going to one Golden Gloves tournament, and a lot of the fighters thought I was a coach. A lot of people didn't even know I was there to fight. So it's, I came literally out of nowhere to get to where I'm at. It got to the point where even my first, because in the beginning I did sign a manager, but it got to the point where he couldn't get me fights because he literally signed me to get me put in fights to lose, and I kept beating people. So, I believe for me to get to this point from where I started, and like you said, getting in with no knowledge of the game, and people don't know how much I studied. Like I went home every night and studied fighters and studied how people did stuff just to tailor stuff to my game. Like I'm so happy with my career. If it ended right now, I would be disappointed if it did end right now. But I would be, when I look back on it, I'd be like, man, you accomplished so much in a sport that really wasn't tailored for you to be in it.
Right.
My story don't happen that much.
Are your kids in the boxing?
My youngest son wants to box. Now, as a parent, I see it's gonna take not that it'll take some time because he got that hurt, but I think that's all he want to do is just standing there and bang. So I think I'm gonna have to wait for him to get maybe 8 or 9 before I really put him in there, so he can actually listen to what I'm telling him while we training or whatever. Because right now he just want to throw punches. He don't want to. He don't want to do no defense. He don't do none of that. He just want to throw punches.
Hey, I know I had told you to turn your phone like this. You can go ahead and turn it up like that.
Mm-hmm.
I had told you to turn it like so people can see your face. But yeah, you can turn it up. Yeah, you can turn it up like that.
Okay.
But that's what's up, man. Like I said, man, not throwing no shade or nothing. Like you were saying, some boxers, you know what I'm saying, they can't put them on camera to talk if they see they can articulate themselves. And I can see how you outthink your opponent because you smart and you didn't, you know what I'm saying, you didn't grow up in the boxing, you know what I'm saying. I can tell you a thinker. So it's easy to see how you do it and outthink your opponent. I think you're supposed to outthink your opponent in anything you do. Like
I went to school for media broadcasting. So I know the ins and outs of how to talk to people during these, like even when like we doing the face-to-face stuff, like when we, at the weigh-ins and all that stuff, and when they get to talking crazy, like I know how to turn that on and then turn that back off. Like I don't get mentally tuned in to the hating of a person in the boxing, because that's gonna make you not be able to go in there and think. You're gonna just want to just kill them, as opposed to being in your own mind and thinking like, I need to settle down if I get myself knocked out. So I could, I use my brain first because I wasn't blessed with the height. I wasn't blessed with the, everything. I do everything good or whatever. I don't do a whole bunch of stuff great. I think I'm great defensively, but as far as like being a good puncher or anything like that, I'm not like the best of anything at that. I just know whatever my opponent ain't, that's what I am.
Right. So where can people catch some of your earlier and older fights at?
A few of them is on the YouTube page. If you just type in Robert Sims Boxer, it'll bring up one of my good fights where I beat a guy named Kobe Madison who was undefeated. I think they got my fight on there with Aaron, not Aaron Hernandez. What was his last name? I can't think, but it was a Mexican guy I fought. This guy, out of all my fights, even though I fought a lot of big names or fight some good names, this Aaron Quintana was my hardest fight ever. You know how sometimes you might talk to a boxer and you might be like, oh, I see this name and I see this name. So he had to be your hardest fight. No, this guy was the hardest fight that I've ever been in, period. But yeah, if you get on there, I think they got those on there. The last fight they haven't posted because for some reason we fought on his fight. We fought on Triller Fight Club, which backs him, Morrison. So they didn't put the footage of the fight out. They didn't put any of the footage of the fight out. They acted like it didn't happen.
That's because he lost.
Because he lost, and he didn't lose like no close fight. He lost bad, and he lost in the gym that his dad made famous. Wow. Like at the arena that his dad made famous in Kansas City. That's where we fought at. So that's why I think they don't want to show any of it, even though they show Roberto Duran Jr.'s son fighting that night. His whole fight. They Jose Luis Castillo's son was on that card. He fought that night. Mike Tyson's son actually was doing the commentary for our fight that night. And I got good relationships with all of them now. But it's just weird they didn't post my fight. You know what I'm saying? They acting like it didn't happen.
Lost. So man, if people want to like you said, hit you up for the sponsorship and for the wine or for the shoes, where can they reach you at? What's your social medias?
Like I said, Facebook, Robert Sims, just straight up and down Robert Sims. And on Instagram, it's Sizzle331. So no E on it, just SIZZL 331. And you'll be able to find me. Actually, it's Rob Sizzle. I'm sorry, Rob Sizzle 331 on Instagram. Yeah, we just starting to build that page up. So you might go in there and be like, man, everybody following the dude, but we just start. I never was an Instagram guy because I'm like, I don't take pictures and all that. Right. But everybody said you need an Instagram, man. You can't really function in the business part of this world without having Instagram. So you've been trying to lock into that movie.
Right. And don't forget to send me those websites because I'm gonna post them and put them in the description of the YouTube video and anything else you got going on. You can put it on my Facebook or tag me on Instagram too.
I definitely will. I definitely got you, and I appreciate it.
You already know, man. We're definitely gonna be in the cut, waiting on that next fight to come up, man. As soon as everything get together, man. I appreciate you for coming through, man. You're a very humble guy to be the champion in the world, man. Because I done had some bums try to flex on me, and they ain't as humble as you, and you're the heavyweight champion of the world, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got to be humble. A lot of people like, man, you should carry that belt with you everywhere you go. For me, I'm like, I look at that belt when I'm done fighting. Right now, it's just here.
Right. If I'd had a little bit of advance notice, man, I definitely had to come down there to that players ball, but I caught on to it a little bit too late.
Oh yeah. It would. I mean, you would have definitely enjoyed yourself, man. Like the people who got their minds together and got the sense here. You know, they know how to have fun the right way here in Saginaw. So, and we in a good area, so when it been no, we downtown, they trying to fix that back up. So it wasn't gonna be no drama down there. So, right. Definitely, you wouldn't have got to see the terrible part of Saginaw.
Right. I got one more question before we leave, man. By you coming from a boxing state, man, how's the city of Saginaw? How they receiving you? As far as being the heavyweight
real good now, but I'm not gonna lie. Saginaw, when I say they a tough place, they a tough place. Saginaw don't really tune in until they find out that you're doing the right thing. Like you could be on your way up, and everybody can know you on your way up, and they're like, oh yeah, whatever. But when you get there, that's when you start seeing the respect and the love, and they get to the point now where you get them double backs in the store where people are like, oh, is that? Oh, you such and such. I had a guy run up on me, was like, man, you that guy, ain't you? I'm like, yeah. So I'm starting to get that part of the love now, or whatever. I've always had good support anyway, but you start getting love from everybody at that point. In the city, we got guys like to hear it from here, like Draymond Green, Lamar Woodley, the late great Charles Rogers was from here. My brother Jermaine Franklin is actually from here too. Who's another good heavyweight boxer who's getting ready to go, do some things. So we got some talent that came out of this city, and even a lot more other talent that went to colleges. But once you get to that point where they see you doing something, then it's like, okay, we can latch on now.
Right. Yeah, man. While we on here, man, I want to go ahead and shout out Mike Donald for TDFA, man, for linking us.
Yeah, that's my guy, man.
That's a flex right there, man. Too many people can say, man, I know the heavyweight champion of the world, man. That's a flex. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. We're gonna stay linked. We're gonna stay linked in.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Like I say, man, I appreciate you. Appreciate you for coming through, man. And don't forget, man, to send me that stuff because I'm definitely gonna get some for my wife, and I'm still gonna continue to promote it, man. We're gonna have to double back and do this again, maybe right before the next fight or after.
I got you.
All right, man. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
No problem. No problem.
Right.
Y'all have a good one.
All right, I'm gonna let you, champ.
All right.
All right. Yeah, that's a flex right there. I know the heavyweight champ in the world now. Not only if I'm bust that thing, and then if you don't want to do that, I know the heavyweight champion in the world. No, I'm just talking. But yeah, man, I want to thank everybody for coming through, man. That was dope. As soon as he sent me the stuff, the links to the website, I'm definitely gonna put them in the description. Put them in the description box of this YouTube video. If you missed the interview I did right before this one with Cali O'Chill, go check that out. New Orleans Stepper, you know what I'm saying? He had been through some things out in the streets, you know what I'm saying? He just overcame his addiction. He's out there in the streets busting guns. He's been to the joint. Now he got a non-profit organization, man, where he's trying to help change these youth, man. And like he was saying, man, we got to catch them younger. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Because, man, by the time we get to our teens, we gone. It's too late. We already set in our ways, man. I got some dope interviews coming up this month. The date is 2nd. My birthday is February the 7th. I don't be asking y'all. I'll be having the Cash App on there. I don't be asking y'all to donate. I am going to ask y'all, man, if you ain't subscribed, man, subscribe to the channel. If you is subscribed, man, tell a friend. Tell somebody, just let me get just subscribe to the channel, man. That's all. We definitely going up, man. I appreciate everybody in here, man, rocking with me. We going up for 2023. I got some new things on the way. Like I said, Yo-Yo Swift, Day Bomb, I got them cooking videos coming up for y'all. So be on the lookout for my prison meal cooking videos. And I got some more content I'm going to put up. I still got to put up my tour to Dallas, AT&T Stadium at Dallas. And I also got to still put up the footage from the party I went to, Terrence Gangster Williams' welcome home party. I mean, I'm gonna get that stuff up. I promise I am. Like I said, man, I'm holding myself back by not posting this content. But man, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Follow me on all social medias at Hankin TV. And make sure y'all slide through and check out the champ's shoes and his vodka. And also check out Antoine Cunningham's wine, who I had on the show last week, man. Just go through and check out all the videos, man, and see what they got to offer. If you don't buy nothing, at least go through and check it out, because you never know what you might run into. I'm turning y'all onto some stuff, man. We're gonna be the first ones on it. But we can say we was on it before it blew up, or while it's on its way up. So like I said, man, make sure y'all stay tapped in, man, and subscribe to the channel. I'm out.